Okay, what we're going to be doing today is to divide and multiply with negative numbers. Now, in our previous lesson, I showed you how to add and take away negative numbers using number line and not using number line. Okay, right. So today we're going to go to timesing and dividing by negative numbers. Now, this is what students remember a lot, that if you're timesing negative numbers, two negative numbers, they become positive. And if you're dividing two negative numbers, they become positive. So negative, negative becomes positive. But if one of them is negative, then the answer is negative. But that is only if you're dividing and you're timesing. Now let's see the reason why. Number one, let's think about you are owing two people. Say for example, you're owing 24 pounds. Okay. Now if you're owing money, then you put minus. That means you're owing. Now, but let's pretend that you owe this money to six people. Okay. And you owe them equally. So these 24 pounds that you're owing it to six people and you're owing equally. So you need to work out how much you're owing one person then. So if you owe 24 pounds between six people equally, then that's going to be 4. Okay, because 24 divided by 6 is 4. But you are still owing, so that's going to be negative. Okay, so you are owing 24 pounds between six people. It means that each person you are owing 4 pounds. Okay, so if you are owing 80 pounds between 10 people, each person you are owing 8 pounds. And if you're owing, you put minus. So you can see that negative divided by positive, the answer is going to be negative. Negative divided by positive, the answer is negative. But it works the same way. Okay, it works the same way, which I'm not gonna explain now. It works the same way. That if you are having 24 and you're dividing by negative, the answer is still gonna be negative. Okay, so as long as one of the numbers here is negative and you're dividing, the answer will still be negative. It's as if the negative is powerful. Okay, right. Now, so we've just done basically question A for you. So positive number divided by negative number is going to be negative. So that's going to be negative 4. Okay. Now, the thing works same way even if you're multiplying. Works the same way even if you are multiplying. Say, for example, I'm owing 3 pounds each to 4 people. Okay. So I'm owing 3 pounds to 4 people, which means that altogether I'm owing what? I'm owing 12 pounds. So if you're owing, it's still negative, right? So you are owing 3 pounds to 4 people. So altogether, to get all together, you need to times. You are owing 12 pounds. So if you're owing, it's negative, okay? If you're owing 15 pounds to 10 people, then altogether you are owing 150, right? So negative times positive is negative. Now, even if one of them, even if they do the other round, if I have, say, for example, 5, and you timesing by negative 2, the answer is going to be 10, but with a negative. So as long as one of them is negative, then the answer becomes negative. Okay. Now, what about situations where both of them are negative then? As I said earlier, the answer just becomes negative. The answer becomes positive now. Okay. So two signs saying the answer becomes positive. So if I have negative 5 and I'm timesing by 8, the answer will be negative 40. But if I now have negative 5, I'm timesing by negative 8, the answer is now going to be 4. It's going to be 40. And the way you can look at it is this way. The way you can look at it is this way. That by doing negative 5 times 8, you're getting negative 40. What you could do is to look at this bottom number this way. So I've got negative 5. And here I've got negative 8. Now this negative 8, you can look at it as 8 times by negative 1. It's the same thing, isn't it? So negative 8 is negative 1 times 8, same thing. And what you could do the front one first. So do negative 5 times 8, which is negative 40, as we saw earlier, because negative times positive is negative 40. Now, once you've done negative 40, then you can times by this negative 1. So negative 40 times by negative 1. And I said that negative times negative becomes positive. So that's going to be 40 now. Okay? Right, so that's how to do that. So just remember, negative, negative, if you're timesing or dividing, becomes positive. But if one of them is negative, then they both become, the answer becomes negative. So pause the video and try this quickly. Okay, hope you done that. So I'm just gonna do the last just 2 questions quickly from the bottom. I'm gonna do question F for you. Now with this question F, I've got the first bracket here, which I need to deal with. Okay, so let's deal with this first bracket here. So I'm doing 35 and I'm dividing 35 by a negative number. So let's do that one first. Okay, so 35 divided by negative 7 is going to be 5, but it's going to be negative because we say that positive divided by negative, the answer is negative. Now, once we've done that, then we're going to times our answer by negative 8. Now we're going to times our answer by negative 8. Okay. Now, this 35 divided by negative 7 is negative 5. Now we're going to times it by negative 8. Okay. And the answer here is going to be now not just 40, but actually positive 40, because negative times negative is positive. So the answer is basically going to be 40 there. Okay. Now let's try do question. I'm going to do question D for you. Now with question D here, I've got negative 3, and I'm timesing negative 5, and I'm timesing negative 6. When you have a question like this, do these things in pairs first. They're all times, so I can do them in any order. So you do the negative 3 times negative 5 first, which is going to be 15, and it's positive 15. Okay. Then once you've got that, then you're going to times by negative 6. So do the first two first, get that. Then do the answer to that. So 15 times by negative 6. 15 times by 6 is 90. Okay. But one of them is negative. If you're timesing, then the answer is going to be negative. Okay. Right. It's just going to do one more quickly for you there. So then you develop confidence. Maybe if I just do G. So I'm going to do G there. Right. So I've got negative 60 divided by 12 times by negative 10. Obviously, I'm going to do this bracket first. So I'm going to do negative 60. And I'm going to be dividing it by 12. Okay. Now, 60 divided by 12 is 5, because 12 goes to 65 times, but it's going to be negative because negative divided by positive is going to be negative. Now, so I've done the first part. The second part says I need to times by negative 10. So I need to times this by negative 10. I need to times it by negative 10. Okay. Negative 5 times negative 10 is going to be 50. Now, timesing negative numbers, the answer is positive. So the answer to that is basically going to be 50. So pause your video quickly, and if you just want to mark your answers, pause the video and just quickly mark your answers. Okay. And then the answer to part 2 is going to be that. Okay. Right, so hope you done well on that one. So you should now be able to times negative numbers or to divide them. Right, so really quickly, I want you to do question 3, very, very quickly. So pause the video and try question 3. Okay, so let's go over just a few. Now, timesing two numbers to get a negative, obviously one of them is going to be positive. So that's going to be positive 2 there. Looking at question F, if you're dividing two numbers to get a positive answer, it means that both of them were negative. That's going to be negative what? 6. The last one, if you're dividing two numbers for them to give you a negative number, it means that one of them was negative. Okay. Now, what do I divide by 11 to give me 7? I can do the opposite. I can do negative 7 times by 11, which is going to be 77. Okay. And that's going to be negative. So the answer there is going to be negative 77. Okay. If you want to pause your video quickly and then mark your work. Pause the video and mark your work. Just remember that for you to divide two numbers and get a negative number, it means that one of them was negative, and that's already negative. So the answer here is going to be 10, because 10 divided by negative 2 is negative 5. Okay. Right, so hope you got that. So we're just going to stop there for that. Thank you.